hope y'all are used to that now. The big old announcement. I noticed that if you're not on the Zoom when it starts like that, it also like puts a big old thing on there and tells you if you want to continue. It's so funny. Yeah, we want to continue, right? Okay. So you guys, tonight, I'm so actually excited to talk about this topic because I feel like it's so relatable. And if you haven't gone through it yet, you will eventually, probably more times than not. And it just makes a huge difference, not only in you, but also in your business. But I also always want you guys to know, like, whenever we're tackling things on our end, I'm like, I just want people to know, like, you are not alone and we can work through these things together. And sometimes when you're working through things, we like tend to think it means something, or we're like, oh, we're not good at this. And then you start like telling yourself all these lies and you go down this like negative spiral. And it's like, no, it's really not the case, right? It's like, that's very normal. And so anyways, we're going to talk about a topic tonight that sets those who are successful and those who are not apart big time. And the truth is we have 7 days left of this month, you guys, and 7 days is a long time in the It Works world. And I don't know about you, but I love nothing more than just committing and starting out a new week and knowing like I'm going in it with intention and I'm going to make every single one of those days count. So if you're ready to make the next 7 days count, I just want you to drop a 1 in the chat, okay? Because it doesn't matter what you've done up to this point. You can't go back and change it, but you can make a decision tonight. And we are going to talk about decision making and how incredibly powerful it is and how making a decision truly can break glass ceilings and like set new bars for yourself. And we don't just say that, but it's happening amongst our team. It's happening amongst your friends. It's happening amongst team members. Like, it's so freaking cool to watch it happen as well. And so we want not just those people it happening for them, but we want it to happen for every single person, right? So here's the thing. The act of doing the work versus thinking about it. Oh gosh, my computer. I swear, you guys, I thought like Apple wasn't supposed to get like viruses, but I swear I'd like all of a sudden gotten all these pop-ups. So if you see me like all of a sudden like jumping back, it's because something randomly took over my screen. But anyways, the act of doing the work versus thinking about it, and doing the work versus avoiding it. Okay. Here's the thing. There is one that is so much more productive, that is so much easier, that is so much more effective, that brings you so much more peace. And the other one that will leave you feeling like just uneasy, and you're going to bed and you're not feeling fulfilled, and you're like mad at yourself because you didn't get to do the things that you wanted to do, but you thought about them the whole time, which takes so much energy away from other moments throughout your day, right? It creates doubt. It starts making you second guess yourself. And you guys, I'm telling you, avoiding the work that you know you want to do, that you know is going to get you to where you want to be, is so much harder than just doing it. And you guys, we are sharing this topic because we've done it ourselves, right? I've been in this business for 9 years. I've been working for myself for 9 years. I've grown a successful business. I've taught others how to do the exact same thing. But this is something that people struggle with, that I've struggled with, right? And I had to become very aware of it. And so tonight, we are just going to really like go at this, right? We're going to take some pressure off. And here's a different approach that I want to share with you guys, okay? Because so many times it can be like, oh, we think, maybe we're lazy, or it's like, you fill in the gaps even for maybe your other teammates, right? And you're thinking like, oh, they want it, but they don't want to do the work. You guys, that's not always the case, because I am not a lazy person and I do want to do the work, but still sometimes I get in this thought process of this long list of to-dos and I overwhelm myself. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm putting off what I truly want to do first. Right? And so we have overcome some of those things. We're seeing results from overcoming some of those things. So we're just going to talk about it so we can all overcome that. So here's a few things that, when people say they're stuck, again, you guys, I think so many times we're stuck in doing things perfectly. We're stuck in trying to avoid mistakes. We're stuck in, wanting to know all the answers before we start sharing something. We're stuck in waiting for time just to appear in our day. And where it allows us to work out, or it allows us to do our business, or it allows us, 20 minutes to go send messages for host to post, or whatever it is. But so just know, like, it's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're not truly wanting to do the things that are going to get you there. It's that we are avoiding the work for some reason, right? And that could be the many reasons that I just listed, right? Perfection, waiting for the perfect time, waiting to have all the answers, waiting to feel confident, right? I hear that so many times. I'm just not confident. You're only going to gain confidence by doing it. Like that's the crazy thing, right? So you just got to rip the Band-Aid off. So here's the thing. Instead of clarity, I want you to go into your business and the daily actions that we need to take to build our business and to network and to share this business and share our products. I want you to go in with courage. Instead of waiting for all this clarity, all these answers, I want you to courageously go in and be like, I'm going to go in and do. Okay. Instead of perfect, I want you to think, I'm going to be present. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to be present. I'm going to do the things that I want to do to get the new results that I'm seeking. And I also, instead of waiting for the perfect time, I want you to set aside time. Okay. These are so stinking important. And one of them seems so much harder than the other. Okay. And so that's why I say we want to think courage, present, and setting aside time. So listen, you guys, our business is filled with endless permission to do all the things that we want to do. Something so many of us have prayed for, something so many of us, when we were at our jobs or whatever it may be, you're having that frustrated moment and you're like, gosh, if only I could do this. You can do that here. That's the cool thing, right? So you can still love your job, and instead of being frustrated with the things that it might not be offering or the roadblocks that are set up there, you can go freaking create and blaze the trail right over here. And that is what I absolutely loved about adding this business into a job that I loved, but also had limits, also had caps on it, and all of the things. So the thing is that we have a very important piece to our business. We have all the permission to do and create all the things that we want to do in life, but there's a very important piece, and that's we have to help others. And there's a reason behind that, okay? And I want to share this with you. Whenever you are operating on the mission of helping others, know that heaven is with you, covering you, and opening new doors for you, okay? So as crazy and as scary as it can be to do those things, you guys, you are going to be blessed tenfold because of how our business works. We have to help others to help ourselves, okay? That is the stinking cool thing about this business. So we're always talking about starting somewhere and like start with anything, right? So I want you to start this brand new week, these last 7 days of the month, where these next 3 ladies are going to lead you, okay? Because here's the thing, success leaves clues, you guys, okay? And the thing is every single one of these girls that I've asked to speak tonight, they all literally, I listen to people when they're talking, and I heard them say, I just made a decision. I made a decision to do this, or I made a decision to do that. Like, I can tell you, and as I introduce them, I will literally spit out their word for word. And I don't know why stuff like that sticks with me, but I think it does because I always talk about there's like a D-Day, right? It's like decision day. And first you made the decision to start your business. And I want you to know that is an incredible decision that can change your life, okay? The next decision that you're going to do is when you jump like 2 feet in and you're going to do the dang thing no matter what is happening in life. And because of that, you're going to build confidence, resiliency. You're going to be able to be consistent. You're going to be able to take on what life is giving you without giving away the things that you like, right? And so that's the cool thing about making that decision. So first off, we are going to hit off with Vanessa. And the thing is that, oh, what am I saying? The thing is that Vanessa, again, I just heard her say, like, I'm making a decision. Like, I am going for these $100 weekly bonuses that are being offered with loyal customers. Okay. And so the funny thing is that yes, those are small goals. And we talk about small goals all the time. You guys, you have to make small goals to get to the bigger goals without feeling overwhelmed. Like, I don't care how resilient and amazing you are. That is how people do it. That's how you do it. You can't get around it. You have to have the things that you can celebrate along the way to keep you going, to keep you hungry, to be like, oh, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer, right? And so this loyal customer bonus is one of those things. That's the thing. And so the cool thing is if you decide to take advantage of it in this business, depending on how many weeks we have in our month, you can earn $400 to $500 in just weekly bonuses. You guys, that is what is life changing to so many people in this business. That is why probably 70% of the business people even join this business is for an extra $300 to $500. They don't even have to wait. They can come in and just do it. And I've watched Vanessa do it over and over and over again while it is being offered. Okay, so Vanessa, I'm going to be giving you the mic here, sister. And she actually had shared some stuff with me. And you guys, what's so neat about this is all three of these ladies are networking. They're getting their loyal customers. They're getting their distributors all in different ways right now, which is so cool because I didn't ask them to think of different ways. Like I just asked them what they're doing and they all have different ways. That is something that is so amazing. And I want for you to really focus on because ultimately we all have the same goal, right? It's steps to success. It is using the products so that we can share the products, so we can be confident in the products, so we can share our testimonies, so that we're commission qualified right off the bat. It is getting those, 6 loyal customers and our product rewards, right? It's selling those samples to let our products speak for themselves. And then it's also helping 3 people every single month get started in this business, right? For them to make extra income from wherever they are in their day, right? We all have the same goal every single month. However, how we do it, we get to choose. You can literally pick pieces from different people and you can make your own way. And that's what you're going to hear from all 3 of them. And so this is really neat. And so again, you're going to actually come out with probably a lot more info than I even thought was going to happen on this Zoom because of that. Okay. So I told the girls, I was like, I just want you to be upfront and freaking honest because that's just how we are. So Vanessa, honestly, first tell me, before this LC bonus came out, was enrolling 5 loyal customers like your normal standard for yourself every single week?
So honestly, no. It was basically, you guys, like we have our steps to success, and our step 2 obviously is our 6 loyal customers. So obviously that's my goal every single month, right? But at the same time, I'm also looking at my volume. Where do I need it? How much volume am I going to need? So that's going to determine what my loyal customers and how that's going to look. Okay. So no, it wasn't my goal to like hit up 5 every week. I didn't even think of it like that. But what's kind of crazy, and I know Sarah's going to lead into this, but like once that is there and that is a goal, it's so crazy how your actions kind of start going towards that. So yes. No, that was not my normal.
And I wanted her to be honest because you guys, how many of you can say the same? Like it wasn't my normal either. Like I didn't have a specific number set for me to try to go hit each week. But once this bonus came out, I had a whole new level that I was like upping to, right? I was like, no, you're not just gonna, do this and this here. And it still may play like that, but I promise you, by even just making that decision, you are so much more likely to actually accomplish that. And so I was asking Vanessa that because I'm like, we're all guilty of that, right? But again, it works as leading you for a reason and in the right direction to your goals. Again, that's a trust that you have to, I think, build in the company, something that I did for the longest time, right? We want to be so skeptical. We're like, oh, this is so good to be true. Like all these things, but they just keep proving and they keep gaining your trust over and over and over, showing you they want you to win. This opportunity is in your hands because they want to see you benefit from it. Okay. So, Vanessa, just tell us first, what was your first thought when the bonus came out and what changed for you to make, 5 loyal customers every single week your new normal?
So pretty much like I love very simple goals with the timeline because whenever they do that, I'm like, oh, like I'm doing that. I don't know what it is, you guys, but when it's like, when you just give me a number and a time when it needs to be done, that is, I don't know if that's the competitiveness in me or whatever. And yes, there was $100 tagged to it, but it was more about like, I'm going to prove that I'm going to get this done in 1 week. And you just watch me, like seriously, because it just was such a simple, very clear vision for the week, right? So as these, because it started off, I think, with like 2 weeks, right? Like I think they did it for like a 2 week. I think they were testing it out, and I was like, oh, okay. So obviously, like I told you before, that was not my norm for me. Okay, so I had to be like, all right, what am I going to do to make this happen. So I decided that that is what I was going to do, no matter how it was going to get done. Okay. And like Sarah said, D-Day is like a day that you just say, I'm doing it. And I'm that person that has to, oh, how am I going to do that? Okay. Just don't even like worry about that, because once you decide, that's how like the cards fall in place. Okay. So, so now that, what was the next question, Sarah? So my first thought, and then was it what, oh, for my new normal? Okay. So obviously, like, I loved the fact that it was a clear goal, but when they kept bringing it back, I was like, okay, this is like, can be super life changing, because every time you met it, you could actually set, I know for me personally, I could say, okay, like I have these things coming up in my life that these bonuses could pay for. Okay. So that could mean like my kids, two of my girls, they've got birthdays in the summer. Okay. So it like fell perfectly. So I'm thinking I could pay for parties, gifts. And now you guys with school being here, $100 is a lot of money, especially when you do it for the entire month for those 4 weeks. That's all. So to me, it also showed me that like I can do so much more in my week rather than thinking of the entire month being like, okay, I need to meet my step 2 and then figure out what else I need, right? Like, no, it's, I kind of just, I love that they did this, because one, you're getting a $100 bonus incentive, like so amazing. But two, it shows you what you're capable of once you decide, because that wasn't my norm before. So now I'm like, wait a minute, if I just become super intentional with what I'm doing, and I like am focused laser, because I do get super laser focused, you guys, a little bit too much on some stuff. So I'm like, I get crazy and I'm like, okay, I have to get this done. And it just becomes, it shows you and it proves to you like you don't need the entire month to meet step 2, you guys. You can meet it in your first week. Like how, and then you get compensated for that. So you can actually plan your life ahead of time and be like, okay, well, I need $500, $400 for this thing or whatever, and be like, well, I know how to get that. That's not including your commissions or anything else. So I just think it's amazing, Sarah. I really do.
Okay.
So.
And I love that, because you guys, small challenges like this. And the thing is I want to say this too. I always say like those, like sometimes we're afraid to set a new goal because we're scared of failing. Okay. Here's the thing. Those who avoid failure end up avoiding success, like straight up. Okay. So I want to tell you, I have fallen on my face so many dang times. I couldn't tell you how many months I claimed triple the first time around, over and over and over and over. But you know what? It didn't happen in my timing, but when it freaking happened, it was the best flippin' day and month of all stinking time, right? I wasn't upset that it didn't happen. Like, you totally forget all of that. But the thing is if I would have quit or got down on myself or went on this negative spiral or whatever it is, I would have never gotten there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like when you say those things out loud, it sounds like so duh, but when you're in the moment, like the feelings are so real, and you just have to remember, like, your emotions aren't always going to lead you to the best. Okay. You really have to, like, I always say this, like, you got to write things out and say it and like read it back and just tell, like, does it sound smart? Most times I'm like, oh my gosh, that like literally sounds so silly. And here I've been saying that to myself over and over and over again. Okay. So that's always like my rule of thumb. But I want to tell you, if you're avoiding failure, so if Vanessa would have been like, well, I've never enrolled 5 loyal customers in a week ever, I'm not going for it. Guess what? She would never have gotten a $100 bonus. Not once, not twice, not however many times she's done it. Eventually you have to like level up and be like, I'm gonna freaking do that. And you know what, if you fail the first 2 weeks, who cares? But if you get it on the 3rd week, you just showed yourself that you can get 5 loyal customers in 1 week. So guess what, you sure as heck can get 6 in a month, over and over and over again, right? And so can your team, because they can follow your lead. So here's the thing, how is she doing this, right? And so this is what I love. So Vanessa, I want you to share exactly how you've been doing that. And she gave me some stuff that I actually can share. I'm going to go share it on the post in the Hive, because there's pictures and stuff with it. But I want you to share exactly how you've been able to do that. So that way, I told these girls that we're sharing with you today, I'm like, give them homework for the week. I want you to give them homework. Like, go and tell them what you want from them. Like, tell me when you go and do this, or do 4 of these this week, or whatever it is. So Vanessa, first tell them what you're doing, and then I want you to send them off with a task for the week.
Okay, awesome. So this is the part that I love, because it's like, again, once you decide what you're doing, your mind and your actions follow suit. So I started to learn, you guys, if you're brand new, this can still just take notes, because I feel like I've kind of mastered, and I know some of the ladies on here too have mastered kind of what people want, okay, like out of products or what they're looking for. So they obviously want to feel less bloated, right? Which is points to our cleanse. Okay, they want to feel slimmer, they want to lose weight, which always points to our gummies, and they want to tighten, tone, and firm. For whatever reason, skinny wraps are like the thing. Like, somebody might want to lose 50 pounds, they might want to take the supplements, but you tell them about a wrap, they're like all over it. Okay, that's just what I've learned over time. Okay, so the post that the post that Shara is going to share, just kidding, that Sarah is going to share actually are these 3 things. Okay, and I call them engagement product posts. And the reason why I call it that is because I get engagement on them, and they are very, very, very specific. Most of you on here probably know what they are, but they work, and you do them weekly. Okay, I don't do them every single day. If you were to go to my page right now, you'd probably see it once a week or twice a week. Sometimes I delete them if they crumble, so don't like freak out if you post it and nothing happens. It's okay, I promise you. Okay, but these posts actually work for me. So when this entire thing started out, you guys, and I was like, I'm doing this, I actually put up, I don't think Ronise is on here, but she had up this wrap post. She's like, it's doing so good. And I was like, you know what? I'm putting a wrap post up. I want to see what this does for me. I signed 5 loyal customers in 2 days. That post that Sarah is going to share, it's in there. I signed 5 loyal customers in 2 days. I knocked my $100 out so fast. And the reason why is because, one, here's what I did to make that happen though. So not only did I do the post, and I did that post, I think during the day, maybe around lunchtime. I don't know, you guys, like there's sometimes times work better, but at the end of the day, don't overthink it. Okay. If it fails for you the first time, just delete it the next day and redo it another time during the day. I don't want you to give up. Okay. Cause I do that stuff all the time. Don't feel bad. It happens to all of us. It's just timing. Okay. So anyways, I put that wrap post, but what ended up happening is people were commenting, wanting more information. And so when I signed the 2 customers right away, what I did is I went back to that post, okay, the same post, and I hit edit, and I put 2 spots filled. I need 3 more people ASAP. Who wants it? Okay. So I put that at the very top, and then the rest of my post was there. For some reason, that just kickstarted, like, oh my gosh, I had people not even commenting on it, messaging me, girl, what are these wraps that you're talking about? I want a spot. So I was creating excitement. I was creating momentum within this post. Okay. So then the next day, I think I wrote something like, oh my gosh, these skinny wraps are selling like crazy. And then I put in the comments, like, I'm looking for, I think like 2 more people or whatever the number was. But I kept my audience engaged in what was going on and kept the excitement going, because the people that were like, okay, so she's actually really getting people signing up, because what would happen is the people that were excited and signed up, they'd go back and comment and say, I'm so pumped. And for some reason, when you create that for people, they want to be a part of it. They do. Okay. So I was updating them constantly, and then I knocked it out. And then what I did, so after I got my 5, I've never done this before, but I was like, I wrote back, because I'm thinking I need 5 for next week too. So what I did is I put up another post, and I said, okay, my 5 spots are filled. I'm going to be opening up 5 more spots. Stay tuned. You guys, I'm not even joking. I don't know what it was, but people were like, okay, like, I want you to let me know when this is happening, whatever. So I think what was going on was that, one, I created the excitement. 2, you have to put the post out there, and you have to put the pictures. You're going to notice Sarah put the photos. Don't be afraid to show photos, you guys, on your actual timeline. I believe it stops people in their tracks, then they read it, especially for a mama who's had children and she sees tummies that look more tightened. They're going to be like, okay, hold up, what is this? Okay. So then it starts excitement. So I used that one, but the other ones, you guys, the cleanse and the gummies post that Sarah put up for you do just as good, but there's a lot of behind the scenes work. And I want you to know that if people don't comment, but they like it, you need to contact them still, because they don't know what to say. Number one, right? They're not sure, but they're like, I like it. Okay, we need to go find out what they like about it and what they need, right? So don't be afraid to reach out to people, even if they don't comment. Okay, and then what ends up happening is they'll become your potentials, right? It may not happen right away, but you guys, it just creates conversation. And then I go back into the post on the wrap one works really well with the spots filled. I think they all do, but that one created so much momentum. But even in the actual post itself, like in the comments, right? Okay, 2 customers down, need 2 more to go. I want to help X amount more people, right? And people who have commented on it or have liked it will see it again, because it'll pop back up into their newsfeed and see your comment. So just create excitement, be excited, put it out there, and don't forget to, because I put some pretty pictures that you can use for the cleanse and for the gummies. They're like I can't even say that right. They're just pretty pictures. In the comments, make sure you're putting before and afters, because people do look, because they go and they like the comment. So I want to share those with you. You don't have to share them every day. Share it once or twice a week. And again, if you're not getting comments, you guys, you eventually will. Just keep boosting the post up. Like I said, if it's like bummer, nobody's liking it or anything, just take it down and try it again another day. It's not a big deal, but those are what are like helping me get these bonuses, you guys, because of the specific number of people that I need. And people want that.
Yeah. And I love that, because I do think that, yes, we don't do those posts all the time over and over and over, right? We don't ever want our accounts to look spammy. But like Vanessa said, I do think they stop people dead in their tracks, because I did a cleanse one and I got so many comments, and the cleanse just speaks for itself. I mean, just how so many of our products do. The other thing that I want to tell you guys is, like, again, your business never has to be monotonous. Like, you have to know that. And if you feel that, you have to change things up. And one of the easiest changes that you can make is focusing on some new products that you haven't for a while. Like, I love the coffee, but let me tell you, with the new wraps coming out and like coming back with those, you guys, people freaking love the wraps. Okay. They absolutely love them, because that is not something they can go to Target and go buy. Like, that's the truth, you know? And they maybe have heard it, but when we're talking about new and whatever. So again, go use your product credit, go get yourself some new wraps and start posting about them, because the truth is I built to Ambassador Diamond with wraps, fat fighters, and greens. Like, I'm not even joking. We didn't even have, I think we got cleansed once I went presidential, but we didn't have slimming gummies. We didn't have skinny cold brew. We didn't have any of those things. And so again, just know that there's such a big want for our products and also for the results. So you need to be sharing both of those. And that's exactly what Vanessa's doing. Okay. So thank you so much, Vanessa. Drew, you up next, my friend. Drew, I have to share with you, Drew is like this silent but deadly worker, okay? But she also like radiates the best positive energy ever, no matter what is happening in her life, which I just love about her. But she had been going through a lot of life, and I will never forget, as things kind of started to be where she's like, oh my gosh, I can take a deep breath. She like made this decision. She was like, messaged me and she's like, I'm going for Diamond. This is something that's been on my heart for a while. Like, I'm making it happen. And she is so freaking close. And I'm so excited for her. But again, you guys, you have to hear that it is a decision. Okay. It starts with a decision. And then it's almost like, because you gave yourself permission and you've made this decision and you're committing to this, the actions come, and with that comes confidence, and with that comes new habits, and with that you start seeing results in your business. Okay, so Drew, she has been getting these bonuses, I feel like, for almost as long as they've been offered. And you know what, she was so honest. She's like, you know what, sometimes I've grabbed the 100, sometimes I've only gotten the 20 or whatever it is, but you guys, consistently she is getting a paycheck every single stinking week. Okay, and what's cool is Lisa's going to talk on DTs, but also know that that is something you can be offering your potentials. If they want to work for it, they can get paid every single week, like Drew, like Vanessa, like Lisa, who's earning fast start bonuses, right? That is incredible, you guys. And again, like Vanessa said, it's like when things come up in the middle of the month, like birthdays or whatever it is, that's paid for, not with your commission check, but with your weekly bonuses. And then you also are getting that commission check on top of things. You guys, our comp plan is phenomenal if you are trying to take advantage of every area, okay? So Drew, same thing. Was it your norm before you made this decision and before the LC bonus came out to get 5 loyal customers every single week?
No. I was like, okay, if I get 5 a month, I'm good. I basically just set a goal. Like I would throw out a number. I'd have like my kids or my boyfriend throw out a number. I'm like, okay, these are how many LCs I'm going to sign this month. And that's just what I'm going to do. And so they'd give me a number and stuff. And then, like you said, the last 7 months have been pretty crazy for us. And I would sign one here and there because I wanted to stay plugged in. And then we moved into our house in June. Yes, the relief, thank God. And these bonuses came out and I was like, well, if I can sign 1 during like the storm, then I can sign 5 because the steps are all the same. It's just the work that goes in behind it. So I was like, okay, I'm making the decision right now. My diamond is on the line. I want this not only for me, but for my team, because if I hit diamond, they're all winning too. So I was like, nope, we're doing this. And I haven't looked back since.
Yes. And that is the God honest truth. And I know it sounds so silly, you guys, but it is about making a decision. And that might be a part that you've been missing. Maybe you're like, I'm just going to do my best, right? We always say, I'm trying, I'm doing my best. Just say you're doing it. Instead of saying I'm trying, be like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Just keep speaking it over and over and over again, right? Just like the same thing when we're journaling, we're putting things out. It's like you're not putting out what you already have. You're putting out the things that you want to speak into existence, okay? So remember, the first step is making that decision. The action will follow. The excitement comes along with it because you have now created a new possibility for yourself. And when you hit it, you now will create a new standard for yourself. Like you will not ever let yourself like sell yourself short again. I promise you that, okay? So Drew, tell us just specifically how you're doing it. Because again, it is different than what Vanessa's doing, but ultimately, they're coming with the same goal. They're getting those 5 loyal customers. They're getting the weekly bonuses, the $100 bonuses, right? But she's doing it completely different. So go ahead and just dive into the specifics of how you've been consistently doing that.
Okay, so for me, I'm using the same products though as Vanessa, the wraps.
You are, isn't that crazy?
Because nobody has them. Like our wraps are, and you can only get them through a distributor. So I do Host to Post, you guys. Host to Post is 100% the way to go. And so I get it. So Sarah talked earlier about how, you know, we kind of get in our own heads and, you know, life is crazy and you have to set the time. So I made the decision. I put it like this. I either am going to go to work for 2 or 3 hours at a second job and work and do all of this stuff and get paid like an extra $200 every 2 weeks, come back exhausted, miss out on my kids, or I'm going to set a timer and set an hour of my day at the end of the day when the kids are all done, dinner's done, practices are all over, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to lock myself away and I'm going to work Host to Post and just pour into my customers and teams. So I don't do it every day, but I will post a Host to Post giveaway on my page, maybe once a day. And kind of like Vanessa was saying, some are going to be hit or miss and some aren't. And don't take it personal. Sometimes it's just the way that Facebook is. By the time somebody gets off work, my post is probably long gone, so I might have to redo it. But doing a Host to Post and asking my friends to actually post up the wrap post with the before and after. And I shared it with Sarah, like my script, so she can share it with you guys later. It's awesome. And it basically says, like, I have them tag me in it, but it says, I'm looking for somebody to try our new wraps, which kind of emphasizes that they're doing it. And a couple of times they'll be like, oh, but I'm not doing it. I'm like, okay, but how can we get you to start using the products? So that way you're not lying about it. And I turned everyone into a Host to Post. So if they sign up as a customer, they're a Host to Post. Hey girl, thanks. I appreciate you. How would you like to get in on our giveaway? All you got to do is throw this post up. They're a Host to Post. If they say, I have to wait for my product or I have to wait till next week till I get paid, okay, awesome. I'm going to put a spot aside for you because these spots go super quick. These wraps are amazing. So let me put aside for you so I can guarantee you the discount and make sure we get those wraps for you. But in the meantime, how would you like to do a post like your friend did for me and throw a Host to Post up? So there's my next Host to Post. If they say, no, thanks, I'm okay, and they just liked, because like Vanessa said, even a like is somebody that you can message. Hey girl, I'm pretty sure you were just being pretty supportive, but I'd hate myself for not asking you if you or anyone you know would be interested in trying our wraps. Most of the time they're pretty embarrassed and they don't want to comment. So they're waiting for you to message them. So, I used to be freaked out. I used to be so scared for messaging people. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to say no. They're going to think I'm crazy. They're not going to friend me. And then I said, well, we're not friends anyway, so I'm not really losing much if they don't. So host to post is the way to go. Voice messaging people, you guys. And here is my key. And this is how I'm signing all my customers, because I am relating to them. I've lost 67 pounds on these products. So when they tell me their goals, I ask them what their goals are. And the reason I ask them is because I want them to know that I value what they are doing, and I want to offer a product based on their lifestyle, not just, oh, I'm just trying to make a sale. So that way I can bundle something together. And then I voice message them and I tell them, oh girl, I totally understand. I relate. I've done this. And then I share my before and after. And boom, right after I do that, they're like, let's sign up. And so that seriously is all that I do. And I do that for an hour every single day.
Oh, I even love that you have like the time down. I just think that's so important, you guys. And as we even just talk about this, like we were talking, and I said this to Drew too, you know, we have scripts, we have boards, like we have all of these things, right? And I want you to know you don't need them, but there's so many times that we hear things that are holding people back, right? That you're like, I don't know what to say, or I'm nervous, like I don't know everything about the product or whatever it may be. We as like team members, when we hear our team saying stuff, that we are like fixers, right? Like we want to take that equation out for you, which is why there are so many tools now that we didn't have before. Okay. But like Drew said, I also want you to remember you're talking to somebody. So like if it goes off script, like don't panic. Like it's okay. Like just be a real person and be like, you know what? This is kind of what she's wanting. Like we started with this, and maybe after like you dig down and figure out what they want, maybe it's a different product that's better for them. And if you need help, that's where you reach out to your mentor, right? But you guys, if you can truly like listen and serve people, honestly, like they will love you. They will love you. And the products, again, like they work. They've been working for years, right? There's a reason why our company has the highest loyal customer enrollments of all companies. Like it's crazy. So again, as she's saying these things, she's telling you, I do put an hour a day. So right, when I told you, instead of like waiting for time to come, set aside time. You know what? And it doesn't all have to be in the same hour. But what's crazy is that she can earn $500 just for setting aside an hour. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in a month. And that doesn't even include the growth that's happening in her commission check. And so I'm going to keep sharing on there. Drew, is that all? I don't want to like cut you short or anything like that.
Yeah. No, I just turn everybody into a host to post, you guys. It just grows your network. It covers every basic.
And if you don't ask, the answer is always no. Like that's the God honest.
Follow up. Seriously, the follow up, you guys. I'm so sorry. The follow up. Okay. That is also important. I used to like forget. I started writing down my LCs that say I want to later. And before I never used to write them down, and I missed out on so many opportunities. So it's like I planted all the seeds, and then somebody else harvested my LC because I didn't follow up. And so the follow-up, when I follow up with them, I kind of put urgency on it and I make them feel important. So I was like, hey girl, I know my last spot's filled up. I just opened up 3 more. I know you're interested. So I wanted to give you dibs first, because it makes them feel like I'm coming to them first. And then they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I need one of these spots because her last one's filled up. So I don't want to miss out on this one. So that's the only other thing that I do. And then they usually sign up right there.
Love it. Love it. So again, consistency, right? You have to know too that if something doesn't come to fruition, it might be your loyal customer that you get next week or the next month or whatever. That is how you like prime that shoot to get that consistent flow coming in. So thank you so much for sharing that. And then Lisa, she's going to talk on we're going to change gears here a little bit, but we're going to talk distributors. And I know that we've really been focusing on distributors because I feel like this is something that's intimidating to some of you guys. Again, feeling like I always said this, like when I feel intimidated, it's usually because we are reflecting our own self-doubt onto other people, right? So, or things maybe that we fell short in, we're like, oh, that's going to happen to them too, you know, when in all reality, you guys, that's not even the case, right? So we talked about that with Claire. And it was so funny because again, I'm listening to Lisa. We talk all the time, right? We're working, we're doing all the things, encouraging one another. When we figure something out, we're like, hey, did you know this? Did you know this? You know, whatever it is. But she was like, listen, she's like, I have 5 codes and I'm calling it out right now to sign up for half off, right? And if you have codes, drop a 1 in the chat. If you have codes that need to be used, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat, okay? And so she was like, I am not letting these go to waste. Like, I'm not letting a single one go to waste. I'm calling it out and I'm doing it. And guess what? She has enrolled more distributors this month already than she had the previous month because she made a decision. And I'm over here as she's doing it and I'm watching her win because she literally just said she's going to do it. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, you guys, it's so crazy how our minds work and how powerful how we speak to ourselves and what our thoughts are. Know that even if you don't say it out loud to yourself, if it's a thought, that you're talking to yourself, okay? So just know how powerful that is. So Lisa, just share same thing. Like, you made this decision and just what you're doing differently. Maybe it's your approach. Maybe it's just your attitude going into it. And maybe it's like your confidence changed by making that decision. Like, what has changed that you are starting to get results?
Okay, so I feel like I need to start off by saying I've obviously been doing this business for a while. It's been 7 years, but there has been a shift in the last few months and even more so over this last month. And at the end of the day, like Sarah said, you have to decide. But not only do you have to decide, you have to do the work. You have to take the action because at the end of the day, you can decide as many times as you want, but if you don't follow that up with action, absolutely nothing will happen and absolutely nothing will change. And then you'll start next month being pissed because you did nothing the whole entire month. And you guys, it's such a vicious cycle. When we were at our leadership event this past weekend with Cami, it was literally the most amazing thing ever because we haven't been able to do that in 2 years. I think it was 2 years to the dot, like literally to the month. Mm-hmm. And it was just so needed. But there were so many different stories of people just saying, like, from people just being stagnant in their business, or just like Drew said, like you enroll here or there, you know, you get 4 customers this month, maybe 5 the month before, maybe 1 the month before that, but it's not consistent, right? And I remember telling Sarah, like, Sarah, I am so annoyed with myself. Like, I am annoying myself and I literally cannot stand myself. Like, if I tell myself one more time that I want to do this, but I don't do the things that need to be done to make this happen, like, I can't. Like, I literally am getting on my own damn nerves and I cannot stand her. Like, I'm over it. I'm so over it. I was becoming that distributor that was like, you know, the one that's always like, I want this, I want this, I want this, but then just does the bare minimum. And I didn't do the bare minimum to get to triple. You guys, I promoted fairly quickly and I was like, guess what you could consider a mass enroller in the beginning of my business. Well, not the beginning, 3 months in, because I didn't do anything in the beginning. But after 3 months, I was a mass enroller. I would enroll 5 to 10, 15 distributors every single month. And I promoted quickly. And the comparison game will get you. But my issue was the comparison game with myself, with the Lisa that promoted to triple like that. I was like, where the hell did that girl go? Like, what happened? And the only thing that changed was the way that I was thinking. The way that I was thinking affected how I worked my business. And I just got to a point where Amber Parker said it this weekend, and me and Vanessa looked at each other, and it was like we had a moment. And I was like, is she in my brain? Because I feel like she's in my brain. Like, she's literally calling me out in front of all these people without knowing that she's calling me out. But she even said too, like, I was so embarrassed to say that, like, I felt entitled. Like, I worked so hard to get to, she's an ambassador, but I worked so hard to get to triple that. Like, I want to enjoy, you know, the morning and sip my coffee in peace. I want to enjoy the afternoon and watch a movie with my kids. I want to enjoy the evening and watch a movie and cuddle in bed with my husband. And then before you know it, it's 11 p.m. and I haven't done jack shit for my business. And then I feel like crap. and then it's just a cycle. The same thing happens the next day, and the same thing happens the next day. And before you know it, your entire month is gone. You've enrolled 2 customers. You have 1 potential. You have no potential loyal or no more potential loyal customers, and that's it. And you're like, well, shit, I suck. This is horrible. But at the end of the day, that was my fault. That was literally me doing it. I was shooting myself in the foot, and then I would get mad at myself for shooting myself in the foot. So then I'd shoot myself in the other foot, and it was just a vicious cycle. And I just got sick of it. I was like, I'm so sick of myself. Like, can't even look at myself in the mirror. I'm so sick of it because I know exactly what I'm capable of doing. I know exactly what all of you guys are capable of doing because we see it happen all the time. The only difference is, are you going to stop being a big ass baby and just step up and do the damn work, or are you not? Because those are the only 2 options we have. And so I was just like, I'm sick of it. I am so sick of myself. Like, I'm just done. And I started getting up early, and I started saying like, okay, if I don't want to miss out on my afternoon with my kids, I have to do this in the morning then, because at the end of the day, I'm not going back to the salon. I'm not going to. I do not want to. There is nowhere else that I want to be other than in this business with my people. Like, that's it. That decision was made a long time ago. And I'm too spoiled to go back to a 9 to 5 and then tell me when I can take lunch, how much they're going to pay me, and all this other crap. Like, I can't do it. I literally cannot do it. So the only other option that I have is to do the damn work. So I started waking up 2 hours before my kids wake up. Obviously, it's summer now, so when my kids go back into school, that's going to be a little shift. But now I wake up 2 hours early. I go make my coffee. I record it. I don't even post it. I do not take my phone off of airplane mode, because if I do, I'm looking on Instagram. I'm buying this shirt from this thing that popped up in my freaking, like, my feed, all these things. And then before you know it, my kids are awake and I haven't done shit. So I'm not taking my phone off airplane mode. I come in here. I do my self-development. Sarah got us all on this book. Absolutely love it. If you don't have this book, go to your Amazon and get this book. It is so good. But I do my personal development, I read my Bible, and then I get out my host to posts. And one thing that I've been doing, and the reason I think that I've been getting my leads for distributors and actually enrolling distributors, you guys might shit your pants when I say this, but it's reels. And I know that it's scary, but do the freaking reels. Like, they don't have to be hard. Some of them don't even have to have your face in it. You could make your coffee. Sarah did one, and we put it in the Telegram, and it's about the business, and it's not even your face. Just put some cute music to it, and that's it. But you guys have to do the reels. It's like that reel that we shared, and it said like, I want to be successful, and they're like, do the reels, and they're like, no, I won't do that. Like, you have to do it. Just do it. And I know that it's scary, but to me, what's scarier is having to go back to work. I'm so much more scared of this chart and this list in my calendar not growing than I am of reels. And it's not that I was scared to be in front of the camera. I wasn't. It was just, I was so used to making excuses for myself. Like, it just got so easy. And then before you know it, it's 5 months into the year, and you're in the exact same place that you were in January when you said that you were going to go diamond, or you said that you were going to go double, or you said that you were going to do this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like, time goes by like that, and it's insane. You just have to decide. And you, not only do you have to decide, but you have to take action. Do you think I want to wake up in the middle of summer? Absolutely not. I do not want to wake up 2 hours before my kids. Thankfully, my kids sleep in a little bit later, so it's not insane. Like, I have friends whose kids wake up at 5, and I'm like, what the heck's wrong with them? Like, what is wrong with your child? But so, like, thankfully I'm a little bit luckier. But if that was the case, if that was my kids, I'd have to wake up earlier. Like, you just have to do the work. You have to. And I know that, like, it took me a lot of hours and a lot of work to get to triple. So I don't know where in my mind I didn't think that it would take that same effort to not only, you know, maintain it and grow, but get to presidential and get to ambassador. I feel like sometimes you just get so entitled because, oh my gosh, I worked so hard this month, I'm gonna chill the next month. Why the hell would you do that? But like, we do it, you know, we're like, I did so good last month, I'm gonna take a breather. Why? Like, are your dreams taking a breather? Mine sure the hell aren't. You just have to do the work, and it's so scary. It is so scary because we're our own hardest critics. But at the end of the day, get up 2 hours earlier or an hour. I know some of you guys do work outside of your home. Get up an hour earlier. For some of you guys, that may look like 5:30. For some of you guys, that may look like 6:30. But I promise you, if this is your goal, if your goal is to be able to be home with your kids and do this business full time, an hour a day is worth it. I promise you that. You just have to be willing to do the work. So now me and Vanessa, we've been holding each other accountable. We've been doing post to post, and every morning I'm like, okay, girl, I'm up. What we do is 50 messages every single night. And how this leads into the distributor part of it is anybody who does a host to post for me and they say yes, they get an opportunity message and they say, thank you so much for doing this. Have you ever thought about doing this with me and making extra money? Every single person. You guys, this month alone, today, I also want to show you guys something too. This month alone, I have 18 new potential distributors. 18. That's damn near a diamond chart.
Let's pause for 1 minute. That just puts into perspective consistency. You might need to up your numbers. Don't be scared. Don't overcomplicate it. Literally, you can shoot out those 50 messages because I'm doing it with these girls. You can shoot those out so fast. They're all the same. But also, how many times are we on a Zoom when we hear somebody enrolled 16 distributors and we're like, I can't even get one, so no way I could do that, right? We are all guilty of it. Every single one of us is guilty of thinking that at one point until we stop thinking it, until you start putting in the work and all of a sudden you have 18 potential distributors and you're like, this is how, when they do this month after month. And again, Lisa, pause for 1 second, but how much more time have you got to truly enjoy by just getting intentional and sitting down and doing the work without putting it off?
You guys.
How much more time in day do you actually get to enjoy with your family than having like that inner turmoil of, I'm supposed to be doing this work, but I haven't got the work done because this isn't this and the blah, 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 right? We've all done it. We've been there, but we're also saying like, we can get out of that and then you can get to where you want to be. So you have to share how much more time you've gotten to enjoy with your family while also upping your results massively.
If that alone isn't worth the extra hour to 2 hours every morning, that guilt, because I'm going to be 100% honest with you. When I worked before, I've never not worked my business ever. Like I've done the stories, I've messaged, I grew my network, but the amount of guilt that I had because I was so bad at just setting aside a pocket of time. Like when I am watching that movie with my kids, the only thing I'm thinking about is shit. Like I literally have not done anything today and I'm going to have to stay up extra late and do this. But then when that time comes, my husband's home and he's like, babe, lay with me. Let's watch this movie. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I want to. That sounds nice. And then during the whole damn movie, I'm like, shit, I still haven't done any of the things that I needed to do. And now, I don't know. It's just, I don't have that guilt because I am getting the work done. Like my calendar shows that I'm getting the work done. All of these are my host to post. Monday was my Sabbath because my husband was off. I don't always take a Sabbath because my husband isn't always off. But if I do, it's Mondays. So he actually was off for the first time in like 2 months. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then today. Even today, woke up, pouring rain. I was like, you know what? Before we get ready for church, I'm just going to send out a few messages. I got 3 host to posts up from the messages that I sent last night. Knocked out 50 messages yesterday. Sometimes it's 15 in the day. Sometimes if my kids are busy, then I can take some time in the middle of the day, knock out a few more at night. And the next day, I don't message any of those back until the next day. And then I'll go through, thank them, write their name down, offer them the opportunity. And then as far as like reels, you want to share your story in your reels every single day. It doesn't always have to look the same. Sometimes it could be an in-person like video. Sometimes it could be just little graphics that we made, but I make sure that I put my, what's it called? Influencer application up and let them know, like fill it out to see if this is a good fit for you every single time. And the amount of influencer applications that I get is crazy. And I was like, what the heck? I even got a message before this started and some girl was like, I found you because I was being nosy on Tanya's post. She showed me how to like download the Amazon Fire Stick remote on your phone. And so I screenshotted it and I shared it, and I was like, thank you so much, Tanya, for saving my life. Well, I guess this is a friend of hers, and she shared it, and she was like, I was just being nosy. I need to know what you're doing because I need to start making some money as soon as possible. Are you hiring? Most people don't even know how our business works, because the amount of people that have asked me, are you currently hiring, is insane. So if people are asking you that, then they don't know that just anybody can be a distributor if they wanted to make extra money. So that means we need to be loud. We need to be sharing the opportunity. And one thing is that if you don't have the belief that someone wants this business or that this business is going to change people's lives, you will never enroll a distributor ever. And I can promise you that. If you don't have, and two, a lot of your belief in this business comes from doing the work. The way that your confidence grows is when you get a message like that. When you get a message that's like, I love the coffee, I just weighed myself and I'm down 5 pounds. Your little belief meter goes up. When you get messages about, yes, I am so broke, I'm so tired of living paycheck to paycheck, your little belief meter in this business goes up. So if you're not doing the things, if you're not messaging, if you're not doing all the things that comes with growing this business, you're not going to have that belief. And I can promise you, I don't know how God uses it or how it works, but like, if you're not believing in yourself, nothing is going to happen. Like nothing, because I can promise you, I've done the work in the business. Okay. I've posted, I've done this, that, and the other. But when your mindset changes, kind of like Vanessa said, like, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do 5 this month, or I'm going to do 5 this week. And then the 5 just started trickling in. And you're like, holy shit. Like, I mean, she still posted.
Who heard me?
Yeah.
Right?
God?
It's so true, you guys. And I know you're like, but how? You just stop with the how. Just start doing. Lisa, just so everybody, if you're not following Lisa, you should, because you should also go look at her reels, because she does a good job of even pulling pictures. And I think as you start getting in the reels mode, again, it's like in the back of your mind, you do start taking like small videos throughout your day that you can just literally move together, throw some words on and throw some music with. Take a trending like song that's going with reels, and that will up how many people you can see. So, and I wanted to share this. I was telling some of the girls, and I'm going to actually really share a lot of this stuff with you probably coming up on our next one, but I randomly hopped on this Zoom that was being held by somebody else. She shared it, and I was like, just so happened to like look at this message at the right time. And it was with somebody who does a lot of growth with Instagram. And what's crazy is he dropped some serious bombs about reels. Okay. So it's crazy, but he said, there's nothing better for growth for your network on Instagram than reels. Like literally, and he was like, post a reel a day. And again, sometimes you guys, that can be, or even like maybe some of the things when you're listening, right? You're like, oh my gosh, it's, again, if you tell yourself it's hard, it's going to be hard. But if you think to yourself, well, what could I sustain? Like, how many messages could I send for host to post? How many reels could I try to do this week? You know, you have to think, what can you sustain so that you can consistently do that? And guess what? As you start doing these things, you get quicker. The hard becomes easy. You become more efficient. Your confidence grows. You start developing habits that are literally don't even take thought anymore. But you have to start somewhere, and it starts with the decision, just like all these girls have spoken on. Okay, so the other thing that I want to tell you, the average viral reel is 7 seconds long. So he was like, you have to make it short and sweet. You guys, like music to your ears. You don't have to sit and talk or do all these crazy things for seconds on ends. 7 seconds, you guys. Can you take 5 times out of your week and have 7 seconds of courage, right? Not clarity, not perfection, but just courage and being present and like doing the thing, right? That's what you literally have to ask yourself. The other thing he said, like, take trending songs, be relatable, right? Okay, so show up when you have a messy top bun on. Show up doing like, you know, some dinner that is really not fancy, but you have a like fancy spin on it, right? Like Lisa, I swear she looks like a gourmet cook, and she's like, no, really, it's like nothing. And I'm like, no, it looks so good. Like, why don't you live next door to me, right? And so it's things like that that are relatable. And I just want to tell you how freaking real reels are, okay? So they did this thing where he's like 30 reels in 30 days. He's like, this is what I did, right? And he was like, I literally mimicked 90% of my reels. He's like, because I'm not creative, were ones that I remade that other people had done that showed up on my For You page, okay? And he said, so he did 30 reels in 30 days. 90% were remakes. He went from 80,000 followers. I know you guys are like, I don't have 80,000 followers. It doesn't matter. You're starting where you are, right? We made that decision today. We're starting where we are with what we have, okay? So, but in 1 month, he did it. He went from 80,000 to 100,000. So then he's like, well, why the heck wouldn't I do it a second month, right? So he did it again, 100,000 to 140,000. So then he did it again, and he went from 80,000, or he went from 140,000 to 165,000. 3 months of being consistent, he doubled his following and who's seen his content. And he was like, and that within itself quadrupled my income. Like, that is freaking crazy. Okay. So when Lisa's talking about reels, first of all, yes, it's Brock Johnson. Oh my God. Like, they said his name and I'm like, I don't even know who that is. And then that's who it was. And so it's so crazy because he was talking about that stuff. And, anyways, oh wait, Vanessa said it. Sorry. Anyways, but that's who it was. He was speaking on it. And he gave so many more things, but that's like a whole nother day for a whole nother Zoom, okay, that we can share and really get into, because here's my page of notes from that Zoom, okay? So again, and I'm also one of those people, you guys, and I think you also have to understand this, like, I am not here to perfect something down to a T. If I'm learning it, I'm going to share it so we can learn it together. Like, you do not have to have already put things into play before you're sharing with your new distributor or whatever it is. There's a thing that's called We Can Grow Together, okay? And that's what we do here. That's what we do, okay? So, and Lisa, I hope I didn't cut you off or anything like that. I know we're at 7 o'clock, and I know she dropped some amazing things, but I think, you guys, the thing that you have to remember is that you may not be where you want to be, but you will get there. You will get there, and it happens by making a decision, by taking the time and putting in the time consistently and growing that, right? And so the thing is you're not meant to sit on the sidelines. You didn't start this business to be your own boss, to sit, to have people tell you what to do every single day, to check in on you. Like, that's not why you started this. You started so that you're in the game and you have full control of it, right? So including like living out your goals, living out your purpose. And you know, one of the things that I read, it's like, they were like, it's not an intellectual exercise. It's a contact sport. Like, it's not about who's the smartest and who knows everything and who it's literally who's willing to get in there and get dirty and like put in the time and be willing to learn, right? And so you know, we're supposed to be engaging with uncertainty. We're supposed to have the fears. We're supposed to be facing the challenges. Like, that's the whole point of what we're doing to grow, right? And so many times we think we're supposed to be avoiding those, when in all reality, if you're feeling those things, you're in the right dang spot. So you need to like, just like lace up and like barrel through and like bring people with you and like share all the things. Okay. So know that our goals are supposed to feel so much bigger than what we can achieve. And that's honestly the whole point, because that's where we lean into God for guidance. And honestly, that's also where the things that He has pre-deposited in us show up, right? And that He shows you that you were made for such a time as this, that you were made not to make $500 like your starting goal, but that you can make $5,000 a month. You're not going to know that without Him. You're not going to know that without doing the scary or doing the uncertain things, right? It just kind of starts flowing. And as you trust and as you feel that guidance and as you keep showing up to do the things that you were meant to do, whether you feel equipped or not, like, that's where you get that stuff, you guys. I didn't feel equipped to hop on a Zoom and speak to people. Like, I literally wanted to vomit even thinking that, right? But the thing is, I just started doing it, and it's like, now I'm like, yeah, I want to hop on a Zoom. I want to do those things, right? And just remember, the thing is, you guys, is God can't bless the actions that we don't take. And that is so dang important. And so when we speak of action and making that decision, you have to remember, if you're not taking action, there's nothing for Him to bless. He's waiting. He's waiting on you, right? So you have to remember that. So last but not least, you guys, I just want to, if it's okay, I don't want to offend anybody, but I do want to share with you this short little prayer, because I feel like it goes absolutely perfect. That was in my devotional this morning with you, if that's okay. So give me just a head nod if you're like, yes, I want to hear it. Yeah, we're good. I knew you guys would be. Okay, so it says, Lord, thank you for equipping me in advance to be a catalyst for impact. Give me your eyes to see the specific qualities and gifts you've already given me to fulfill my life's mission. I'm ready. And that is it. Amen, friends. I hope that we filled your cup. I hope we helped you bust through, just like those mind games that we have for ourselves, because we've all been there. But I promise you, it is so much easier to take the action than to avoid it. So love you. Go hop on the family call. We were only like 8 minutes over. I'm so dang proud of us, by the way. And thank you so much. Give a huge thank you to the girls that like spoke and are sharing the things that are working from them, because you know what? They claimed that. They weren't, thinking they could do it all or whatever. They claimed it, but yet here they are. They're doing it. Okay? So thank you so much, you guys. Good night.